It
Yeah,
is
all
time.
right. We'll keep going with it. Thank you, Michael.
All right, here we go. Okay, everybody. Today is March 26th, Monday, K-Pro Cow Powwow. Thank you to our special guest, Michael O'Connell, for coming on the show. You guys may remember Michael. He was on one of the marathons we did quite a while ago, though. It's been a while. And he's got some things to say. I know K-Pro has a PowerPoint. We're going to do a recap because there's been a lot of different news in the last week. And there might even be some breaking news. Maybe. Not maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Go ahead, K-Pro.
Well, I was going to say the other thing that you may not know is Michael was highlighted in our November 2019 interview because all we were told is Douglas Preston corresponds with this searcher. And I didn't know at the time that Michael's name wasn't out. And so when he said, oh, it's a police officer out of Boston, etc., the next time I saw Michael in chat, I was like, Douglas talked about you. And he's like, okay, I guess I'm out. So yes, Michael has been in the search a long time, really genuine person, and I'm excited to have him back here. We have a lot to catch up on. I'm going to let Michael introduce himself, and then I'll take it back to say, here's what we're going to do today, because I think everybody's in a little bit of a different place of, I think I'm up to date, or I missed a day and now I'm out of the loop. So I will just say thumbs up the video for Michael O'Connell being here, and great content. We're getting some great things that are happening in the chase, and super chat is on in case the room starts rocking. But Michael, who are you in this chase? And I'm so excited you're here.
Hello. Hi, everyone. It's been a while. I haven't been on the show in a while, but thank you, Mike and Christy, for having me on the show. I love your show. I love everybody in the room. I love that they're skeptical, or they're crazy searcher people like we all were. And I love that they still want to know where the chest was, because that's what I want. I want a revelation. I want Jack to be watching right now saying, here's Michael O'Connell, a police officer from Massachusetts, saying, Jack, please, man, when you can, give us the 9 clues. So we're going to try to help you, because we all have little pieces that we want to put out there like a giant puzzle, and everybody can take a little piece, and maybe from it, all us searchers together, our knowledge will be powerful, kind of like sitting in a college classroom when 20 people participate in a discussion. That's powerful instead of listening to 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, and so I will say before we get started, thank you, Michael. Cynthia has just dropped Cynthia's Conversations number 6. It goes over a little bit of what happens if it was found in Yellowstone. She references the FOIA, and then she references Slough Creek. If you don't know why I'm bringing that up, I'm sorry, you've been out of the loop for a hot second. We're going to go over that tonight. Couple of other things that I'm going to say up front, but then I'll also say at the end for those of you not here yet. We have decided that there's so much happening in the hunt. I do not want to take away. Monday nights are always Forrest Fenn. I don't want to take away from the rest of the amusement park. So we are going to be having a show at 6 o'clock on Thursdays. It's going to be an hour earlier for Mike to talk about the different hunts that are happening. He just bought, and actually, or already bought, but now has received the UK treasure hunt. He knows more about than I do. And then, William. Okay, the soundboard has to happen. Super chat, Michael. Do you want to play?
Oh, you saw it before I did. That's weird. But yeah, we can figure one out. Thanks, William, for that super chat.
Okay, so we are going to do a second Forrest Fenn show for the next little bit, because I think with Dan's book coming out, the stuff that we have right now, we do have a couple of things that are backlogged that we're trying to get out. So we're going to go to 2 Forrest Fenn shows a week, Monday night at 7 and then Thursday night at 7. But don't miss the rest of the amusement park. That's going to be Thursday at 6. And if you didn't know it, first time in many, many, many months, I jumped on another channel, which was Indy's last night. We had a blast. There was a couple of highlights from that, which I consider breaking news. I've been trying to get a hold of Indy because people are like, can you share it? It's on her channel, but I wanted to actually have her share some of it with Mike so we could actually bring it up. So hopefully if you guys see Indy jump in the room, tell me, because I want to get a copy of that one email where Jack confirms or actually rules out what the blaze is and blaze is not. So you guys,
here's for that super chat, William.
Hi, Mario.
All right, somebody might know what that means. Okay,
I have
Go ahead,
no
Kate.
idea what that means, but that's probably a good thing. Okay. Two other things. There is going to be a Zoom tonight for Legend Has It. Team K Pro has about 12 people on it. It's going to be fun, and we will continue on. We made some huge headway. So that is exciting stuff. So why don't we just jump right into the first step of here's what we're going to do. I only have 3 slides tonight. I know you guys are going to be sad, but a lot of people are like, I have no idea what's happened this last week, or I missed a piece or part of it. So the first thing we're going to do is just go over literally the last 7 days. There is about 8 things that have happened. We decided not to go on every day, but this will hopefully give you an update on where we are and what this means to the hunt, if you believe it. If you think it's a conspiracy theory or not validated, I like how Michael said it. We all have a piece of this puzzle, but if you don't believe a piece, it's okay. Maybe it doesn't have enough validation. You don't know the person, but if we all start sharing, we get more information. So, okay. So, Mike, if you will bring up the patented, wonderful, you love them, you hate them PowerPoint.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Okay, so last Monday, it seems like it was a year and a half ago, but it was 1 week ago that Shannon, or just before that, Shannon posted on Facebook in the Grand Adventure that she was emailed Jack's location back in 2018. She did it for a different reason, she says. So then she deleted it quickly because the community got into a firestorm. A searcher, a tuber, knows the location. Enough saw it, so I started getting PMs, and the world has blown up since then, the search community at least. But Shannon did say Jack has requested her to keep it private from the community. This is communication from 2018, and this was the first spot she searched. So I'll take a pause there. That was basically what our show was on Monday. I shared that with you guys because I contacted her and said, can you confirm she could? Where was it? I can't say why. She actually reads it later, so you guys will have that information. So we're good. Last Monday, everybody's up to date now, right? If you have questions in the chat, let me know. But that was last Monday before the entire world exploded. Michael, did you see that show? Did you see where we talked about that piece?
Yeah, I didn't see the medicine wheel one because I knew you were talking about it, but I saw the other show and I saw some of Candy's show.
Nice.
And I watched some of Cynthia's videos, which, by the way, are very good. If anyone hasn't seen Cynthia's videos, they're terrific.
Yeah, definitely going. Okay, so now we knew that Shannon knew, but she was like, deleted. I thought she was going to ghost. Well, she didn't. She did a video and she explained that she won't be revealing the final location because she had an agreement with Jack, but she went live. And when she went live, she said some interesting things, whether she intentionally or unintentionally dropped these hints. She said her search partner was in the same location within 100 feet. Now, some people were questioning how could she be within 100 feet when she says she doesn't even know within a 10-mile radius? I don't know. It seems a little contradictory, but she said there was only a few WWWHs in Wyoming, and it's a place that could be destroyed, but she does know. So we did a show on that. We confirmed the different pieces. She also said, based on the state and the information from Jack, I know where it seems like those 2 pieces were important for her, which lends to me Slough Creek, but we'll go into that in a minute. So we did a show. I think everybody's up to date there. So I'm going to go down to the yellow box on the first row. Mike or Michael, chime in if I need to slow down and update anybody. I am going kind of quick. So I knew Shannon's search partner. That's where part of me felt like maybe she did this intentionally. And I went through, gosh, this was 2018 timeframe. I went back and I was looking for references. I know he told me a solve, but you guys really do think that I care about solves. No, I could not remember what the solves were. So there was a reference to Yellowstone, Slough Creek. There was about the meadow. I did put all of that in there, but if you go and see our special show we did Saturday, all of this was coming out. So there was also a reference to a Bighorn scrapbook. I'm going to go over that tonight because some people were confused by that. So that was Saturday's show. So there was a show Monday, show Thursday, show Saturday. Shannon said she knew the spot on Facebook, deleted it. Then she said a few details when she went live, and now I found the search partner is information, and Slough Creek was one of the search spots he had searched. I think it was Amy that went live late Saturday and was like, the one question, I think it was Matt, it's like, does he have any other search spots? Well, Saturday evening, a searcher made contact with me and said, are you purposely not putting out his other search spot? I know the searcher that you're talking about, and he didn't name the right name. And he said, I know he was Shannon's search partner, and you discussed his other solve. Did you not mean to? Or are you, kind of questioning, like, huh? And I kind of was like Toby when Toby was asked if he had contacted with Jack. I said, what are you talking about? Can you give me a link to that video? It's vblog 114. And vblog 114, that is the search partner. And there was a medicine wheel solve. This was his backup solve. And we decided not to go live with it. We just uploaded the 114. I gave all the minute marks where things were referenced about. He got to the medicine wheel without try the wheel. There's some details there that I'll go over tonight in case you missed that part. That's where I think we kind of, everybody goes a different direction because we didn't do another show. We'd already had 3 shows. We're in the middle of moving. We weren't going to do that again. But it was medicine wheel, Bighorn. He didn't discover it through try the wheel. He did it through another method. So this search partner now has 2 solves, both in Wyoming. So the green box is where we are today, because in an hour it could totally be different. The search partner has 2 locations. In the video, I actually say, he thought I had communicated with Mike when Mike did try the wheel, and he was a little upset, like, did you share my solve? And I'm like, no, he has 2 solves, this killer solve, and this Bighorn is his backup solve. So the first solve of this search partner was Slough Creek in in Yellowstone National Park. The second was the medicine wheel. And then because I'd forgotten all this, I went back further into my messages, and I have a few more details to share with all of you. So any questions on this before we dive into the little more detail? Go ahead, Mike.
I'd be interested to find out how he arrived at the medicine wheel without decoding the try the wheel message.
I'm going to tell you what he shared with me, and I will show you. It was much more spiritual. I'm not going to get into additional details of his personal situation, but he did send me 4 different pictures and 1 video clip of Forrest in his home to watch in relation to his other solve. I'm going to give those to you. You guys can decide if you're team Slough Creek or team Medicine Wheel or team this is all insane. Sorry, I'm not going with this coincidental circumstantial evidence. But he gave me a little bit. I don't think enough to figure it out. I didn't even remember it at the time. So we good,
Okay.
Mike?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Next one.
Next slide. So this is new information for you guys, or at least from my standpoint. Here are the 4 pictures and 1 news link he provided me at the time. I did not highlight these. He was obviously, you can see what the keyword was. 1 came off of Terry Scant. This is the one with the green border on the left. Does Bighorn Canyon, Wyoming ring any bells in your past, or does Black Canyon, Colorado? And Forrest's answer was, what do you mean by ringing bells? And that was, I think it was a scrapbook that was in. And then Bighorn, many, many years ago, Joe said to me in a wistful moment, when I was just a little Indian kid running around, my elders told me about our history. I asked them if the government would ever give our future back. And then the next few hundred years, take possession of this book. I would like you, if you guys are Bighorn people, you know these quotes. These are obviously Bighorn Mountains, Bighorn Canyon, and Battle of Little Bighorn are all referenced here. And then provided the ABC dateline and on 1/12/18. At the time, I wasn't really getting it. I know I had some discussion. I just quite honestly don't remember it. This is everything I have at this point. But I wanted to throw out a few things that I knew about the medicine wheel and the area. So, Mike, if you can go to the next slide, unless you have any questions on this one, guys.
Hear me all and listen good. Bighorn, right?
Yes. So many searchers were at the medicine wheel with different techniques to get there. Try the wheel was one that Mike had done a vlog 9 and vlog 114. He got it from Sam Smith, who got it from someone else. It's not a secret. There's lots of people up in medicine. I will say a GPS solution also takes you to the same location. There's DeLacy, Washburn, and Medicine Wheel all fit depending on the rules that you have of 8 and all of that. But the interesting part is these are two things that I find interesting. Is one, I'm going to give credit to Holy. You can see on the right, Medicine Wheel, Medicine Mountain. The ownership changed, and some people wonder why Forrest saw a attorney after the treasure had been hidden, and now the Department of Interior National Park owns this land. They did not own this land when the treasure chest was put in place. And also the boundary change. You can see the green underline. Thank you to Holy. Everybody always wonders why he talks about borders, borders, borders. Maybe that is why I don't have a strong opinion. I'm just giving you the information. The one that is personal to me, whenever I visited Forrest's home, he would always say to me, "Did you go by the park down the way, a couple down from my house?" And I would say, "Why? Is there a hint there?" Ha ha ha. But he always said it to me. So my last trip to Santa Fe a couple of weeks ago, last month, I actually videoed that entire area because I was like, he's trying to give me a hint. He's trying. Mike will upload it very soon. It's about, I went to so there was benches, and each bench has a name and a famous quote. And you do it all the way through, and it's about the Korean War. So I then went, well, wait a second, when this came out. This might not be affiliated at all, but I'm going to tell you. Next slide. Up in the medicine wheel area, there are benches. And the one bench that you walk by, if you can, I don't know if you can zoom in, the one bench has an Indian by the last name of Brown and an Indian by the last name of Wise. There is a bench that you walk by that is both Brent. That's okay. Both Brown. I don't know if you guys can read those gold pieces. But what they say is, oh, you did the wrong thing there. You made it littler. Go to 400 if you can. Yeah. You can see that see it says Brown and Wise. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. I just wanted to, this has been out a while. We started discussing it on Indie Show last night. Jana brought this up. A lot of people, is it a coincidence that the bench on the way to the area that Shannon's search partner went to has a bench named Brown and Wise? Can you zoom back out, Mike, real quick, or put it in that other view? There is also one other sign, and the sign says walk left, I think. And some believe that's where the other one, babe, at the top on the left. It's drawing nigh. That's your drawing nigh. So what park is this? This one here, the one that was from before, somebody said it in chat last night. Amelia, not Earhart, Amelia something. I will look up the name of it. I don't have the name of it. It is about 3 to 5 houses down on the corner from Forest House. And he always say, go by there. It's such a lovely place. It was a Korean War tribute park. So it had some statues, but it had these benches between. And he always told me to go there. I always wondered why. And then when I saw this bench connection, I thought, oh, was he messing with me? I don't know. You know, that's what I say on everything. I don't know. So That's
Yeah, it is interesting though that he has a park with benches, names on benches next to his house. But I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think, Michael O'Connell?
I don't think the medicine wheel's in play in my view, but
So are you team
I-
Slow Creek?
I think that the treasure chest was hidden in Yellowstone Park. I know people used to call me a stoner when I was in these meetings before with you folks. I still believe it's in Yellowstone.
Well, a searcher reached out to me just today or yesterday and said, that message in the poem, try the wheel, WIMT, try the wheel, Montana. I'm sorry, Wyoming, Montana. Everybody goes, oh, well, the medicine wheel's kind of by the border, Montana, Wyoming. But he said, why don't people read it, try the wheel, West Yellowstone, Montana? Why does the WY have to be Wyoming? Why can't it be West Yellowstone? And I thought about it and I said, well, try the wheel, West Yellowstone, Montana would be the part of the park that's up in the north end of the park. And that's where Slow Creek is. It comes through from the Montana border. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the area is in play. It's just what state do you think it was in? And I like Montana a lot, but Forrest said it was in Wyoming.
It was in Wyoming for sure.
He said it was in Wyoming. Jack said it was in Wyoming. Fenn's family said it's in Wyoming, and I assume the attorneys aren't lying because that's illegal. So if any of them said it was in Wyoming, it was in Wyoming. So
and I believe it was in Wyoming. I think the Montana was just which part of the park to look in, the north part where the border
which part
is.
To enter.
Which way to enter the park exactly.
I think you had to be close to the Wyoming-Montana border. That's the whole borderline biddies.
Well, if we look at what Shannon said, she said based on the state and the information Jack provided. Well, if it was Slough Creek goes throughout both states. That doesn't apply over in the other medicine wheel. It only applies. You would only need to know where Jack was searching the info from Jack. You wouldn't need to know the state. If I said Slough Creek, you would go to either state. The only thing that narrows it down is that it was in Wyoming. So that's why I lean more that way. But medicine wheel definitely could be damaged. That could be damaged in a very sensitive way. So then I lean more towards then. And hey, maybe the search partner got a third solve later. I don't think so, but you don't know. I don't know. This is just perplexing. Let's see. Key is to find footage. Where did he learn to fish, in the stream or the lake? I don't know. You're talking about Forrest, I'm assuming. I don't know where Findy Jones. That's a good question. I don't know. Now, do you think it's related?
Didn't he say he learned in Texas when he was a kid? They fished in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that what he said when they were kids? Just Conti Wood, his father, and they were fishing in Texas. Like that picture in the book that was sold on eBay from Too Far to Walk. That's those two guys in Texas. They used to fish in Texas as well.
Okay. We have a kitty tormenting an old dog that can't catch her. I'm sorry, you hear a dog in the background. I apologize. Yeah, so so the biggest thing is I hope that beginning part brought to light the steps of what's happened. So I did not do it intentionally. I had forgotten the second one. Now I feel dumb because I remember having conversations about it. There are two areas. What are you showing there?
That's what Forrest,
fishing?
This is where Forrest learned to fish. He fished with his father right here. This is on the banks of the Leon River near Temple, Texas. He used to fish right there with his father. This is a postcard.
That's not the picture that was shown on Chasing Indies channel last night, is it?
No. This is a postcard I collected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to get it to Forrest, but it never made it to him. I never got it to him in time. It's from 1943. But this is where he learned to fish with his dad. Now, obviously, they went to Yellowstone in the summers, but they were only there in the summer. But they fished, I think, year-round for food.
Yeah, so does that help narrow it down? If you believe this as it has rolled out, some people aren't believing all of this. This is maybe conjecture, maybe, I don't know. I'm just putting out what I believe is credible just because I knew Shannon through the last few years of tubing. I believe she might slip purposely, but make it seem unintentional, but she wouldn't flat out. I don't think she's inventing this for like just to mess with us. The community was too nice to her. She was too great with our community. Here's from Lisa Smith. When Shannon said she went to the area but wasn't searching, she was also talking about when she was searching. Her previous video showed her and her husband going to Yellowstone. So this is how I took it, Lisa. It was a place when she was boots on the ground, or she may have been boots on the ground, but it wasn't where she had a solution. So it's kind of a tourist attraction type of thing, which would lean me more towards the medicine wheel that could be damaged. You could go there though. Like if you were to go hit the sites, the medicine wheel, if you're over that way, I don't know if they made it into Cody. I did not go through all of her videos. This is where it's like we all go out and get information, and then I get information. I've not gone through all of her videos. I haven't plotted out either one of these. I know we have searchers that search Slough Creek. I know we have searchers that had full solves in both locations. I don't know which is more valid because I haven't done it myself.
So can
I
we
know.
step back a little from medicine wheel?
Mhm.
Now, just to share with some of you folks, I feel like I was more of a long distance friend to Forrest, though I met him in person. I talked to him for almost an hour in Santa Fe at Collective Works. But we had a lot of emails back and forth, and I grew to be as close a friend as you could be so far away with him. I didn't get to call him because he couldn't talk on the phone because he said he was half deaf, and I didn't bother him. But I think him and I were relatively close. Okay. And
I would just like to say, I think a lot of people thought they were. In my opinion, you were. I know that Forrest knew you, thought highly of you. Douglas knew you, thought highly of you. I think your interactions were much higher than the search community realized.
so I was very respectful and appreciative of his service, and Forrest knew it. And I mean it sincerely. I fell in love with the guy, his whole family, his whole life story. I fell in love with his story, and I'm still in love with his story, and I miss the guy. And I think I'm not saying he was a perfect man. I don't think such a person exists, but he was a great man, and he achieved a lot of great things. So in my considered opinion, he had a lot of fun with all us searchers, and I think he had fun with me. He wasn't helping me find the treasure chest, but I think he enjoyed that I drove all the way from the Massachusetts-New Hampshire border, where I lived in Andover, Massachusetts. And I'm being legit. If any of you want to email me, write down my email, Michael, Michael, period, J, period, O'Connell, Oconnell, at Comcast.net. I'll answer your emails. So he was a friend of mine, and I was really upset when he died. My family, it was like I lost an uncle. My family, I was really upset. And I'm sure a lot of you were too. He said stuff to me that now that time's passed and listening to everybody else, it brings up things. It's like memories. So when I met him, after my son Brendan and I drove all the way across the United States to meet him, instead of going toward the treasure chest, I drove to meet him because I was afraid he was getting older, that he could die, and I'd never get a chance to meet him. And when I sat with Forrest, he said, Michael, are you going to go look for the treasure? And I looked him right in the eye and said, Forrest, you are the treasure. Mm-hmm. He was the treasure, and he is the treasure, and that's why we're still talking about him. We know Jack has the chest. Mm-hmm. Jack has the chest. We're never going to get the chest. Good for Jack. I'm happy for him. I just kind of would love to know what the 9 clues were and how close some of you were. Now, if it was up at Slough Creek, I wasn't even, excuse me, that's my Boston accent if I'm mispronouncing it. But if it was up at Slough Creek, I wasn't close to it. I did think about that area, and I can easily put together like in 5 minutes, I can put together 4 or 5 hints from the poem. Now, I'm not saying they're valid, but so Forrest told me after the chest was found in an email, which I shared with Mike and Capro, they read the email from Forrest. He told me I asked him if Skippy or his parents had kept the treasure. I thought his treasure chest chase was in honor of his family, and he said Skippy kept his secret, that I was correct.
Yeah.
So Skippy knew the place. So the question is, we know Skippy was in Yellowstone. He was all over Yellowstone, but I don't know if Skippy was at Medicine Wheel. I assume he saw Medicine Wheel, but I don't know that. And the other thing Forrest said to me, when I was going to go to the one time, I've only been to Yellowstone one time in my entire life. That was that trip in 2018. When I was going up there, after I went to Santa Fe, I met Forrest, and I have pictures. I was with him, he signed stuff. And then we drove up through all the treasure states. So I got to see all the treasure states. And I come through Texas too, which was kind of neat because Forrest is from Texas. So anyway, he said to me, which way you going to the park? I assume you're going to the park. And I said, oh yeah, I'm going to the park because the treasure's up there. And he just smiled at me. He got the biggest kick out of it. And that's what this whole chase was. It was fun for Forrest. It was fun for the rest of us that were involved with it. And yeah, some of it's frustrating. Some of it you spend money. Some of it you lose. Like playing baseball, you don't win every game. So all of us lost the game, and Jack won the game. And good for Jack. I'm not taking away from what he achieved. He did better than me. But Forrest said, which way are you going to the park? I said, well, we're going to go up to Jackson Hole, see Jackson Hole, and then go up, see the Tetons are magnificent, and then go into the southern entrance and go up toward West Yellowstone. So he knew exactly where I was going. He spent 10 or 15 minutes trying to talk me into going up to Casper and to not see the Tetons, that the mountains were better in Yellowstone, and I don't need to see the Tetons, and Jackson Hole really isn't all that great. And he was embellishing. And so he was trying to get me to go to Casper. And I really didn't know why, but he knew I was into the search because I showed him, I had one of his belt buckles, you know, the one with the cowboy rider. I actually showed him the belt buckle, and he knew I was really into it. So he took a picture of it. It was in one of the scrapbooks. He took it on the picture on the table, the wooden table. So I'm pretty certain that picture was my belt buckle, and it was number 2. The first one was silver, and I had the second one. So I had the first like brass one. The first one was silver. So Forrest was like, where'd you get that? And, you know, so I have one of his belt buckles, and I have a George Davidge grizzly bear. That Forrest had the wax of it. He said, I'll sell you the wax for, you know, $600. I said, I don't want the wax. It's going to melt. So he actually told me like what was a good buy, and I bought it on eBay. So then he was writing about George Davidge on the scrapbooks. So either I spurred these thoughts, or he was taunting me, or he was having fun. I don't know, but it was deliberate. I showed him the belt buckle, then it was on the scrapbook. I showed him the George Davidge. I sent him the email. He told me that's a good buy at this price, and I bought it. I have it. I can go get these things. I have them in my house. And I can show them to you on video. I'm not making this stuff up. So he was trying to get me to go through Casper. So real quickly, if I gone to Casper, I still have to head toward West Yellowstone. The fastest way is not back down to Cody. It's actually through the northeast entrance through Cook City, which of course you all know is called the Silver City because there were silver and gold mines up there. So that could be, everyone knows it. That could be hint of riches. You all know that. Everyone in your room knows that. And you could drive down the canyon down. There's a giant, beautiful canyon there, Lamar Valley. You go down the canyon. It's a gorgeous, it's over 10,200 feet. And you're going down elevation. You're going down. So as you get down there, on your right side, if you're driving, is Lamar Ranger Station. All of you know, everybody in the search community knows that park ranger named Brown lived there, and Forrest and his family knew him. And a lot of people early in the chase in 2010, 2011, 2012, they're always talking about the house. So I actually sent a picture of that house to Forrest, and he signed a bunch of things and he mailed them back to me. And I'm not making this up because I'm holding some of them in my hands right now. He signed these things. So
you have a cool collection from Forrest. We should do an entire show on all the things you have. You have some things that I've never heard a searcher have?
Well, some of them were expensive too, but my wife put up with it. She wasn't crazy about it, but oh no, I had to work a lot of shifts to get the things because I'm not like a rich man, but I work hard. But so anyway, I sent them a picture of Lamar Ranger Station like it's a joke because everybody had said that was the place, and he put a big question mark on the picture. Now, some of you know that Jack implied that the question mark in the poem and the question mark in the writings that Forrest had put in the newspapers, which I had to. I think a lot of you had them. I'd gone through those years ago, and I still have them. He said the question marks were in play. Forrest signed that picture, but he put a question mark, and I think I'd stuck a Post-it on it, Homer Brown. He didn't write Homer Brown on it. He took the Post-it off the thing. So that actually may have been the Homer Brown, and I didn't. That wasn't my solve. My solve was more from around West Yellowstone and down and out through Cody, because he mentioned Cody, and mine was more with the fishing and stuff. So I'm not saying, oh, I knew it was. I'm just saying it's real easy to put together the first 4 clues. You can easily put them together if you come from Casper.
Yeah, it's funny because people in the chat, so let me get to the chat a little bit. They're saying, no, Michael, the other way is the Techons is the better way to go. You're just saying what Forrest said. And it's like, I don't think he was talking about which one was more beautiful. He was trying to direct it by your theory. He was just trying to say, nudge, nudge, this might be the way to go.
Yeah, he was. Well, I think he was deliberately telling me they weren't that beautiful when he knew they were spectacular.
Exactly. So there must be something more to it, kind of thing.
So he was I think he was trying to help me because I drove across the United States. Like not too many people that were searchers drove across the United States. Like I camped and hiked, I drove. I wasn't flying in. So he knew that I battled it. You know, that's a long drive across the United States.
Right. Yeah, I made it. North Carolina to Vegas. I know that's a commitment. So let me answer or let's talk about a couple of the things from chat. William said, did Jack try to contact Shannon because they were searching in the same location? No. How Shannon explains it is she had asked Forrest a question about why the spot was special, this whole emotional piece. And Jack's answer was, or Jack reached out and said, can I see Forrest's exact response? Because I think we know now, Jack believes the emotional connection is what the slip ups, everything else, that's what cracked it for him. The other question that came in, I did not see who it was from. Was it the same email she responded to? From what she alluded, yes, because she found that email, then responded to Jack and said, hey, congratulations. His response back was, thank you. Can you please keep that place I searched before private that I told you about in 2018? Please keep my secret. Keep my secrets where? And she said, yes, she would. So that is, I believe it was the same email. There's no way he would have remembered. I give Toby such a hard time because I'm like, I think you had the solve in your email and can't believe you deleted it. And he's probably thinking the same thing right now. Well, that means you had the search partners info. You just didn't write it down or remember it either. So lots of people have it, it seems. Uh-oh. We have a super chat from Mr. Henri. Copper Dan. Go ahead, Mike. Do whatever you do.
Copper Dan. Let's see. Hang on. I got a cat in the way over here. Give me a minute. I'll find it. There's one I need to play for Copper Dan. Give me a second.
Oh boy.
I'll find it. But I do want to say PG in the chat said, Forrest shot 4 meadowlarks and a scissortail and Once Upon a While, and Forrest purposely misspelled meadowlark to draw attention to it because there are 4 meadows in Slough Creek. So that's kind of interesting. He shot 4 meadowlarks, misspelled meadowlark. There are 4 meadows in Slough Creek.
And the search partner did say this whole thing about there's a meadow, there's a wide opening. Again, I'm not at the point where I know some of the hater troll people were like, you found just another location every day. I am not even I'm not dipping my toe in it. I've not given up completely GPS, even though the GPS source is a turd. I call him source turd. But I'm not giving up on that. I've not given up. I think Medicine Wheel would be fascinating. I think Slough Creek, my goodness, it would be fascinating. I am just trying to I'm doing the confirmation bias. Jack has told us, let's go by the facts.
Now, what about the Department of the Interior? Should we tell them about that?
I
Yeah.
would love it.
Oh, all right, we will, Michael. We should. First, let me play this. This is for Dan. This is for his little comment and thanks for the super chat. And this is also for the little joke he made the last time he went live. Here we go.
Hey, that's a good one. No, wait, I'm not finished holding my side.
And there it is. Thank you for that super chat, Copper Dan. But yeah, Michael O'Connell actually has some breaking news. In my opinion, is breaking news. But we're gonna
This is probably the biggest breaking news I have heard since Jack has come out, other than Wyoming. This is the biggest breaking news there is. My opinion.
All right, take it away, Michael.
I don't know if it's that big. Now, this is going to be a big lesson. This will be a big lesson.
Was to me,
But-
because it was so concrete. I really liked it.
So someone who I know pretty well, okay, who is very close with Forrest Fenn, and knew Forrest before 2010, before the book was released. They were with Forrest having lunch or dinner or something, and Forrest slipped and said that he put the treasure chest in the on U.S. Department of the Interior property. And to my knowledge, this person didn't tell anybody else but me this. And I knew that since 2018. So
what type of land is that? Which property?
U.S. United States Department of the Interior property. So
Department of the Interior. Okay.
So the Department of Interior is National Park, BLM, Land Reclamation, Army Corps of Engineers. Those are the 4 types of land. Now, if we want to go conspiracy theory, there is an email that Stephanie, she is a searcher, has put out that Forrest told her it's not on BLM land. So if it's Department of Interior, not BLM, that goes to it's in the park. Now, I do have to say, though, that's why I brought up the Medicine Wheel took over land ownership, and it's on Department of Interior land as well. But this is pretty significant.
I mean, if that's true, yeah, that's pretty huge. It narrows it down a little bit, right?
I think it narrows it down to Yellowstone Park because you guys all know Overthinker, Matt DeMoss. I hope I'm pronouncing his name.
Smell the sunshine. Yep.
He's awesome. Shannon from Odious Soul, she's awesome. I've interacted with all of them. Justin Posey, he's awesome. Copper Dance, the man. Buy his copper artwork. He's the man. So there's a lot of you all are just as important as any. But what's going on is we all have a little piece of it. If we all throw all of our piece into it, it's like potluck. If we're making a soup, if everybody throws some in, hopefully we make a nice soup here. So if we get and we put the heat on the soup, maybe Jack will say, "Hey, they got it anyway. I might as well tell him." So if he's sitting back, I think it's in Yellowstone Park, in my opinion. That's where he put it. I don't think Medicine Wheel was in play because it was not Department of the Interior property. I also have emails from, and I shared these with K-Pro and Kyle. They got them. I got emails back and forth with the Center of the West that showed the dates before Jack had his big reveal. I knew when Forrest was there. He was at those meetings. And we know he was at the model show. So we know he's at Cody. So you got to ask yourself, he's in Cody, so it's got to be close to Cody. And Cynthia was talking to me a long time ago. I did the research. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. She's great, but I'm like, I'm not the researcher. She said, well, Doug Preston thinks you are. I go, no, he's just having fun. They're just having fun. I said, but I do think it's up there. She goes, do you think it's in Wyoming or Montana? I said, I don't know. I really didn't. And we all talked about this a million times, but I think we know it's in Wyoming. We think it's in the park. I think it's in the park. So Slough Creek is starting to look pretty darn good to me.
We know that he has said that it's Wyoming, and now I can tell you, I know the detail that you know. I I truly believe he did say land of the interior. Or
It's low. It's low again, K-Bro. I'm not sure what you can do.
the Department
There we
of
go.
Interior is, I believe. So that narrows it significantly. Now, can we make the next leap, which is the park? That is one of the 2 locations that's from Shannon's search partner. But I the the Department of Interior is significant in my opinion. Significant because it narrows concretely, and this was directly from Forrest. Now it is once removed, but you believe this person, you believe the information. You don't think it could have been confused or made up.
Put it this way, when a police officer gets probable cause from a confidential informant, they have to have strong credibility and believe it. I believe this person 100%. Like, I have no doubt whatsoever. So I think Forrest slipped, he said it. He didn't mean to say it. I kept it quiet out of respect. I'm not going to disrespect Forrest. I'll never disrespect Forrest. That's never going to happen. I still, when I say I love the man, I still love the man. If you don't like the guy, don't talk to me about it because I don't want to hear it. All right. So I'm just being honest. I feel very strongly about him. I wish the best for all his family. I want all you searchers to do great. I want Jack to tell us what the 9 clues are. If hint of riches is Brook City, Silver City, I want to hear that. If it's taking the canyon down, is Lamar Valley River Canyon, which is breathtakingly beautiful. And let's not forget one thing too. While we're there, who's this guy? All right, can you see that?
Indian, somebody?
Gotta pull
Oh,
back
excuse
just
me.
a little. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay,
See,
Osborne Russell, Journal of the
Ah.
Trapper,
Ah,
secluded valley, paradise where I would like to die. Forrest said, I'm going to read Journal of the Trapper 12 times. I'm going to read, I'm by the fire in the winter. I think I'm going to go read Journal of the Trapper again. Like Osborne Russell. Right? Osborne Russell. So you've got
You know,
so much.
we're starting to narrow. This is the exciting thing for me. I believe we need to sift through what isn't valid, and that's hard enough. I believe we're getting some pretty concrete things from some pretty from people with integrity. I mean, I don't think there's not one person on this earth that, and if they did, I would argue with them that you don't have integrity. You're not bringing something forward with any malintent. Now, things can get confused the more or little words change as you play the game telephone, but this one's pretty concrete. That's why I'm excited about it. Oh, we got a super chat, Mike. Over to you.
but first, Mark Connor says Slough Creek at Highway 212 is where Donnie and Forrest Fenn came out from being lost, 50 miles from where they started. Interesting. Okay. Not 4, but 2-4 to walk, what the $5 super chat says. Thoughts on the blaze being the 1943 bomber mountain wreck in the Bighorns, the wreck of the flight you begin at Yellowstone Regional Airport in Cody? Question mark. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The wreck of the flight you begin it. So in other words, he's saying you would start at Yellowstone Regional Airport in Cody. Yeah, let's see if that helps, Gabriel. Go ahead.
Okay, so here, hopefully you guys can hear me now.
It's a little bit better, but it's still low. Yeah.
Okay, I need.
Thank you for that super chat.
I take that super chat money. I need a new one of these. The one thing that I will say is, somebody said, "Well, are there any saws related to this?" Oh heavens, yes. There is Medicine Wheel saws. There's Slough Creek saws. I would be willing to do a show or two related to if Slough Creek. I know that Minotaur Marino, and I think Alan Kelly and probably a few others. I know they had solves there. Cynthia, she traveled there. She had solves there. Justin had solves there. I think we could do a show on here were my solves at the time. And if it ended up being in a location kind of like Jack talks about, that would be interesting. But there are many, many, many searchers that both had that those solves. Can you guys hear me is my question.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
better.
I hear you well.
Although
he needs some milk.
Maybe those headphones need some milk. But no, it sounds better now. We can hear you a little bit better now.
Some people say that 212 is the temperature that warm waters boil at.
Yep.
So
I've
some
heard
people
that
think-
before.
Some people
Yeah.
said I didn't think of that, but that's clever. If that in fact is true. And I don't know that Donnie and Forrest, when they were 16, I don't know that they came out there they went in by Red Canyon up near across from Hebgen Lake. That seems a long way to go. They would have I don't know how they could have done it, because they would have crossed the Gallatin Canyon to come down there. So I think they went the other way towards Cameron, Montana that way, and came out up there somewhere 50 miles, because that was one of the areas I searched pretty heavy up that way, and I got nowhere. But I don't know that you could cross US 287 without, the Gallatin Canyon to get over to the other side.
Right.
The part with, so
Well, it's
I mean, you
interesting
could.
because Forrest told the same thing to Cynthia. Don't go and I'm sorry, I don't know the routes. Basically, don't go the direct route to West Yellowstone. Go the way I did. And I think he told Dale that, he told you that, he told Cynthia that. It seemed he was really pushing people to go that Cody route and over and in, kind of make that pitchfork, if you will, Matitsi, realm of Horn. So I don't know. Both are in play. And I believe here's the biggest thing, and you're law enforcement. I'm from a family of law enforcement. I believe the facts are starting to, it's unraveling. When you bring a suspect in, and my dad was an investigator, and he would say, I question the one, and now sometimes you question things to go get the others, and the others start getting nervous, and they start saying, we're starting to see the flow of information coming, which is remarkable because we went so much in a drought. Now we have lots coming in. What do you think about that?
I think it's your room. I think you guys are like a basketball team has a certain person on the team that gets them to win, like the way Brady helped the Bucks win. Okay. So he was the momentum for them to win it this year. And they all played great. You can't win a football championship by yourself, right? But he was the one that changed the dynamic on their team, and they won the whole thing. And when he first went there, I was thinking about putting a bet in there. I was thinking about what Mike said. I almost put in like a $10,000 bet that they'd win the whole thing, right? And of course, I'm a New England guy. I love Brady, right?
Right.
Wouldn't he do it? I think you guys are the catalyst. By all the people in your room are starting to talk, and Shannon, Cynthia, Copper Dan, Greg, Candy, So every one of these folks had a relationship with Forrest.
And we know you, Michael.
And you know me. And so we all kind of know each other. So a lot of searchers, they had stuff, but they kept it to themselves. And
Right.
some of them still believe like the Colorado solves valid, and we respect them, and the rest of us don't believe them, but we don't want to be disrespectful. Like, we think those are over. Like, if you had one in New Mexico, I'm sorry, it's not there. I'm sorry, it's not in Colorado. I'm sorry, it's not in Montana. I know I searched Montana too. I think it's in Wyoming. I think Jack got the chest. Don't keep looking for it. Don't search for it. That's a waste of your time.
You don't think you could search for a divot, a 10 by 10 divot? You don't think you could search for it?
No,
Okay.
I think Forrest put it up on top. Now, you can go there if you want to have fun, but let's put pressure on Jack, like armchair it. And yeah, if you're close and you want to go check it out, check it out. But you want to go enjoy the park like Cynthia's doing? Cynthia's a great role model. She's doing exactly what Forrest wanted. He wanted people to get out in nature, and she's still doing it. And that's what it was all about. It wasn't, he didn't promise Mike O'Connell his treasure chest. He promised me I'd have a good time if I went to Yellowstone. And boy, I did. And I'm still talking about it, 3 years later, right? So, so he didn't know we'd still be doing this, but I think he'd love it.
I think so too.
As long as we keep positive, I think so. Here's a couple questions from the chat. Didn't Shannon's search partner, K-Pro, give you his Slough Creek solve? I'm going to be really honest. It sounds like from the 114, when I said he has 2 killer solves, Medicine Wheel's one of them, but he has another one. This one's his backup one. That leads me to believe he did. And it's not in writing. And I had a different phone, and I looked all the way back on my phone thinking, is there little bits? The only bits that I have is what I've given you. I have you guys know me in solves. I just wasn't into all the particulars. And I talked to so many people about their solves. God, I wish I could like
So-
tarot card read.
Well,
Oh,
this goes along with that. Trey Westmoreland says, K-Pro, have you talked to Shannon's search partner since this came out?
no, I have not.
And then to that we say,
Never heard of him. Next.
there it is.
Oki says, anyone gave thought to why Forrest says where warm waters halt versus where warm water halts? It means there are two water sources. Just saying. Sounds right. I mean, good, cool. I like that. The next one. What do you say to that, Michael?
I think he says it, and I've said this before a bunch of times in your room. I think he uses the why is to tell you to look at Wyoming and why for Yellowstone Park.
I like
why.
that. I can get behind that.
Okay.
Like that.
So I think that the why, that's the reason for the why, but some people think the question mark's in play too.
Well, when
and
Forrest says, when you guys find out the solve, you're going to say, why didn't I think of that? It kind of goes with Yellowstone. Why didn't I think of that? But here, let's catch up with the chat. JEM said, thoughts on Shannon saying there's only a handful of WWWHs in Wyoming. Yeah, I noticed that. Sure does roll out just a warm geyser. Sure does go more towards the medicine wheel, but I sure do like the park. So it is odd that she said that, because it leads you to believe now then she knows the WWWH. There's no way around it. If she says there's only a few, that means she knows it. In my opinion only. Alan K, fun fact, Forrest Fenn had to cross Lamar Avenue every time he walked to school from 1413 North Main Street in Temple, Texas. Why else did his address matter?
Ooh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
genius. Oh, that's huge. That's good. That's a hint. Yeah, I like that. Oh,
Yeah.
there's
Go ahead,
only the warm waters halt is probably Soda Butte, right? Like you got to drive right by there, beginning where warm waters halt. When you come in from Cook City, you come down. First you go by Soda Butte, then you hit the canyon down, then you hit the Homer Brown, the Lamar Ranger Station. So those big things that are frozen, that's the only place I know where you can find those. Where else can you find them? Like, so I think she knows it's Soda Butte, and the whole
Maybe.
world look at it. Every searcher was looking at that. I know I spent back in 2012, I was eyeballing those and the petrified logs and all that stuff. I was
Yeah.
all over that stuff.
Well,
And a lot of-
someone
I think
said, go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I think a lot of searchers looked at all that stuff.
Well, and
I
that's
don't
where
think-
somebody said this weekend, how can you even consider Slough Creek? That's where the quicksand was. You don't want to put people in quicksand. Of course not. Don't be silly. That is silly to say. Of course the treasure wasn't in quicksand, but could it have been somewhere in a 10-mile radius of Slough Creek? Just like William said, but you can't put your toe in the medicine wheel. I'm not saying it's WWWH or where the treasure was found. I'm just saying medicine wheel's a part of it. Do I think at the time that the search partner probably walked through the entire solve with me? I believe he did, and I don't remember it. It's just too far back. This was in 2018. Shut up.
Hey, Mike, maybe you can get Toby. He used to be like a CIA guy. Maybe you can have him like hypnotize her and get her to-
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It'd be like a James Bond movie.
Yeah,
We'll
but
get the-
I do believe when we say medicine wheel could have been, let's see, we're kind the canyon down, not far, but too far to walk. You walk there. I don't know. I don't think it's the actual medicine wheel, just like I don't believe it is the area that has the quicksand at Slough Creek. There's a lot of Slough Creek, guys. There's a lot of parts to Slough Creek. There are different facets of Slough Creek. So if the minute you hear a key word and you think, I'm ruling it out immediately, open your mind a little bit. We're now away from your solve, your location, to let's all bring our pieces to pieces of the puzzles to this puzzle we're working on. Like Michael just said, Department of the Interior. He did hold on to it.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. That's a huge piece of the puzzle.
How about this, Kate-Bro? Let's, instead of overthinking it, let's just think about Jack for a second. And this isn't disrespectful. He's busy. He went to Georgetown, then he's at law school in Michigan or someplace out there. I mean, medical school. He's busy studying. he gets tired of it or whatever. He doesn't want to do it anymore. I don't know what happened. Maybe he had bad teachers. I have no idea. So he steps away from the search and he's got to find something to fill his vacuum because he left med school. He wasn't doing this stuff when he was in med school. So he starts to search in 2018, he said. Okay, so let's figure it's the winter because that's when most people plan before they do their trips. So it's January of 2018. If you go back to that time frame, the first thing he gets to look at is Dow's videos, and he's got Forrest telling him, like in 2017, the first day, January 1st of 2017, I got the date right. He's telling him exactly where to look, right?
I don't know about the day, but I know it was 2017 when they put out the Slough Creek interviews.
It was January 1st. I think it was 2017. Okay. So he's got the video. Then he's got Cynthia Meacham's great videos. She's pointing out she was there and she's showing you that. So she's got hers. So right, and then he's got all it's like solves all the way back to 2013, 2014. I sent you a few of them. There's tons of solves.
Right.
Were, like all these spots that Soda Butte is Warm Waters Hall, that Lamar, like tons of searches. So he came into the game like right up front. He got the information from other searches. I don't think he solved the clues. So he doesn't have the 9 clues. So I think he took pieces from what everybody said and said, I think he wants to die here because that's what Osborne Russell said in his book. He wanted to die in Paradise Valley. And I was looking at that, but I couldn't figure out how you'd walk in there. So he wanted to die there. I thought Forrest was mimicking because he said he wanted to die there. And that's an unusual thing to say. So I think that he took a lot of things, put it together, and he toughed it out. In 2018, 2019, 2020, he did at least 25 searches. Now, most of us didn't have the time to do that or the inclination to do that, but he toughed it out and he got the result. But that doesn't mean he solved the 9 clues.
Yeah, well, so here's interesting. JD Wood from chat says, but Forrest told some searchers the wheel solve was wrong. We'll see. That would be breaking news. If Forrest confirmed that the medicine wheel was out, then we could go to Slough. J Wood 13, did you hear that through the grapevine? Did you hear it through the sources kind of matter? So I find that fascinating, though, if it is the case. Question for the panel. Would Forrest talk about a location where the trust is located? He's mentioned several locations throughout the years.
That is interesting. Would he put it in his book or would he talk about it, the actual location? I don't know. I mean, would he tell us maybe why it's special to him? What do you think, Michael?
I think all the pressure on his family, people breaking into houses, threatening them, trying to kidnap them, and people were jerks to them. And it really angered me and a lot of people. A couple of people, I kind of emailed them and told them to knock off the crap. Forrest gave me their email addresses. I emailed people and told them to stop. And it said, leave him alone. He's an 87-year-old guy. And I think the stuff his family, his 2 daughters were fed up with it. Maybe the grandchildren were fed up with it. He was taking tons of pressure at home. Plus, not all the searchers were nice. Some of them were poor losers, so to speak, or they were, being stupid, getting themselves killed. Forrest didn't want that, and that upset me too. Imagine how it upset him. And so how many of you did it upset? Yeah. So people were upsetting him like crazy. I think he wanted it over. And Dale was a good man. He was thinking about writing his book. Dale had searched all over the place. So did Cynthia, and he may have given a big thing. And I watched those videos. I watched all those ones. And when he mentioned Concy Wood and his father and fishing, my ears were certainly huge, especially after reading about the Greevy Lake in the book. And but I didn't go there, but I give Jack credit for going there. But I think he might have been saying, if somebody can find this game will be over.
I think it's similar to what you're saying. I think initially he wouldn't put it in TTOTC. He wouldn't put the location. He only put subtle hints. But I think by 2017, 18, 19, 2020, when he knew the end was drawing nigh, I think he probably discussed plenty, and he probably was shaking his head like, can I make it any more obvious? That's just a guess of mine. So Could he have done an interview in 2017 with Dale where he actually talks about Slough Creek? Yes, I find that plausible. Would he have said, go to Slough Creek in TTOTC? No, but he did not anticipate the 7%. He said that all the way into our video and said it many times. What do you think?
We did get a super chat from Mr. Billy Shaw Jr. for $5. Thanks, Billy. He says, if we're going with Slough Creek, why not go nigh from the parking lot and head north up Buffalo Creek? That sounds reasonable to me. There we go.
Buffalo Creek, Simply?
You've had your limit today. You drink water.
Okay, there it is. Billy Shaw, you've had your limit today.
So Buffalo Creek is definitely valid.
Right.
And there's a fork there, and remember in the book it says when we came to a fork in life, we always took it together. So there's a fork there. So that does also give credibility to that location. So
yeah, well, so Lucky says, I like this. These are the types of things I think are coming out. Interesting. Skippy knew. Not BLM land. Forrest Fenn owned a cabin in Wyoming. Lots of stuff not told. Now to be
that is a conspiracy theory music right there. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff coming out. And that was Michael's point. A lot of people have held things back, but now that the chase is over, if they come out with those things, we may be able to put it all together and figure this sucker out.
Okay, well, we have a chat to get to that's related to another hunt in the amusement park. Legend has it. We're having a good time because we're taking down Copper Dan. So we're going to jump into that one. But Michael brought the breaking news. We've discussed things. I need a little time to digest it. I think searchers have maybe some information on Slough Creek, maybe some information on Medicine Wheel, but it sure does get us a little bit closer. Hopefully it updates you guys all on what's happening in the hunt. So here's what's happening though. Go ahead, Michael.
Just so I'm clear, I 100% don't think Medicine Wheel's in play because it wasn't part of the Department of Interior when Forrest was up at Cody when he was at. I got the dates. He was at the meetings, and it was not part of the Department of the Interior.
Right.
If my information is valid, then that would be wrong. So it couldn't be at the Medicine Wheel. So to be honest with all of you, I don't think I think the Medicine Wheel is rolling up down the wrong road. So
but except for when did the lunch happen with that searcher? If it happened after 2011, couldn't that still be valid? Because if Forrest said...
because the chest was already hidden. And
right.
Forrest said he had his mind made up to put it there the whole time. So it always would have been the other land.
Maybe.
No,
I know what you're saying, but let's say
he said he had decided more than 15 years before that he was going to put it there. So
right, but let's say they had lunch in 2015 together. And he said the land it's on Department of Interior. That's true in 2015. Now, if they had lunch in 2010 before, because this person has known him well before that, then I'm with you. I can't rule it out yet because again, we don't have we don't know exactly.
Think about Forrest for a minute. Like think about his heart and who he loved the most. Do you have Concy Wood, or do you have his mother or his wife or his children or his grandchildren? Do you have any of them at Medicine Wheel, or do you have too far to walk with him with all his grandchildren deliberately inside Yellowstone Park so that everyone in America can see, look, a few years ago, I went on a trip. A few years, let's say 2010. How much more plain could it be? They vacation, and Chip Smith told me they were up at Parade Rest Ranch. So
that's been a prior show.
Right? You know that, right? Chip Smith is Forrest Fenn's cousin. I get
we talked to him. Yep.
I sent an email to Capro from Chip Smith showing that he talked to me and said he believed he was at Parade Rest Ranch and he knows the owners well, and they let him look through the thing, but he never found. He thought it was up near Parade Rest Ranch. He didn't find it. Chip's a nice guy.
Yes, I had a drink. He had a water. I just happened to run into him at Bullwinkle's because his family owns that. And I got a couple of hours with him. Very genuine human being. And you are exactly right. That's what he believes. I made my way to Parade Rest right after that saying, I might want to stay here. Can I look around? I looked around for a couple hours, talked to some of, they call them the ranch hands there that, handle the horses and things. And, everybody has their conspiracy theories. So I won't go into too much, but many believed exactly what you said. he
Well,
stayed there in October, et
Well,
cetera.
because Peggy, the little houses look like the ones his parents had. It looked just like because I was up there, I took a bunch of pictures and I was like, wow, this is definitely forest land, right? And the other thing is Peggy didn't camp. She had to stay in someplace nice, and that place was nice. They got breakfast in the
Oh, they
morning.
provide all the meals. They
So
provide
they-
all the events. Yes.
So if the daughters were close by, they could take the mother and go shopping or go do what they're doing. He could go off fishing and he could go do whatever. No one's going to pay any attention to Forrest going fishing. So I just think it's a good area. I don't think Medicine Wheel's in play, and I'm just being honest. If not, the rest of you think something different, that's okay.
And for me, I'm not grounded anywhere yet. I can see some compelling evidence, and especially when you talk, Michael, I go, oh, slew. And then I go, well, Medicine Wheel, maybe because of he was dying, Medicine Wheel could be related to die. There's some things there, but also GPS solve totally isn't out of my mind yet. DeLacy Creek. I am not gonna say, put my flag in and say, this is it. I am letting it unfold, kind
But
of like that.
GPS is in Yellowstone.
You know what? It's
That's
also
true.
a Medicine Wheel.
Hell of a coincidence.
It's in GPS is in Yellowstone. That's a, you know what I mean? That's in Yellowstone. Now maybe we took the wrong canyon down. You went to, maybe you were supposed to start there and go the other way, down by the Grand Canyon. Like I don't know, but I was wrong. I didn't get the chest. Jack's right. Jack, I hope you're watching. Look at my face. Look me in the eyes, brother. Hey, Jack, look me in the eyes. We all want to know the 9 clues, brother. Help us out, all right? If you're going to wait for the statute of limitations, write a book, do interviews. If you want to make money, that's the way to make money. Selling the chest is only going to get you so much. Right? I don't think you're going to get $1 million and they're going to tax you. So you're only going to get 600,000 or 700,000, and that's not as much as winning the Powerball. Massachusetts is
Well,
300.
unless you're in a different country, but we won't discuss that. That makes
It's 300 million bucks now. So so Puerto Rico, you might avoid taxes, but I don't know for sure about that. I don't think it's, if you go on shows and you're getting paid by the Today Show and you're selling books and stuff, you're probably going to make more money for all the searchers than people that are interested than the way you're going about it. No disrespect, but I got 2 graduate degrees too, Jack. I went to Northeastern. I went to BU. I went to BC. I got a strong education, and I think you could do really well if you're smart. And I don't know who's advising you, but I would do it all differently. And you got my email, Jack. I sent you emails. You can. I'm not hiding from you, man. I sent you emails. So I think it was in the park. I told you I think it's in the park. I told you, Jack, about the Department of the Interior, and you're not even responding back to me. So if you don't answer my questions, I've met a few bad guys during the course of my life, and when I had them good, they didn't answer questions either. So I think I got the fish on the hook here.
Well, the interesting thing with Jack answering emails is when somebody does send him the correct where warm waters halt or the correct blaze or the correct solve, is he going to respond? What can he say? Or is he just going to lie and say no?
If you were wrong, he could say no. But if you're right, he can't say no, because sooner or later that will affect his credibility. I think it'll come out eventually. The statute of limitations will be over for whatever federal land it was on, U.S. Department of Interior land. But
U.S. Department of Interior, breaking news tonight, everybody.
Yellowstone National Park. Come on.
Gregory Colvin Garcia, our brother up in Michigan, he says Slough Creek is critical to the history of Yellowstone. So could be a reason it's special to Forrest if it has something to do with the park, the beginnings of the park.
If you got Clancy Wood and his father there, that's 100% special to Forrest. He loved Clancy Wood.
Right.
He loved his dad. He admired his dad. Those are 2 of the most prominent figures in his books. Like right up front. I mean, that's huge.
Well, I think we're going to see more developments. This last week has been significant. We had more significance come out tonight. I think right now things are unraveling a bit. We have Dan Barbarosi's book that's coming out in the next couple weeks. I will say I've talked to a couple people offline. I am hoping that they will come out and talk about it. I think we see Cynthia doing it. I see Michael doing it. I see others bringing forward what they know as their truth. We all get to take it or leave it, but then we take the next step and we say, okay, what can we do with this? There's enough people working on that. That's why we have so many of you here. So hit the like button on this was our pause. This was our let's recap where we're at. We have a little bit more information tonight with the Department of the Interior. So Thursdays, we're now going to start shows on Thursdays just for Forrest Fenn, 6 to 7. It's going to be all about Mike, his amusement park, whatever he wants to talk about. 7 o'clock show is going to be all things Forrest Fenn. So Monday, Thursday, 7 o'clock, all things Forrest Fenn. I did not see Indy in the chat tonight, so I will say that there was an email she got from Jack that confirms, if you read the email that way, and I need permission from her before I'm going to read it here.
Let me guess. It confirms Firehole.
No.
Oh, okay.
It confirms that the blaze was not a mark on a tree. And I don't remember which tree or log. Mike and I were talking about which word was it. I don't remember. It was a 4 or 5 hour show. I jumped on it. I want to see the emails, get them to Mike. He can screen share them. That would be huge because I know a lot of people believe the blaze is a marking on a tree. If we can rule that out, all the better.
Well, Candy, if you want to come on the show and show that email, we could talk about it at some point. Let us know. Godelkin just emailed me, and Godelkin says the Cody Museum, which is part of the Smithsonian, falls under the Department of the Interior. So that's kind of interesting. Kind of a tie in there. That's kind of interesting. So thanks, Godelkin, for sending that email.
There's a lot happening. This is, I know, paging Indy, where are you? I haven't talked to you today. I hope you're okay. I'm going to check in after this because I've not gone a day without, seeing her or saying hello. Howdy, hello. Okay, so thank you all for being here. Michael, tremendous guest, as always. We're all
thanks,
keeping
Michael.
this community going, and it's been fun. Anybody who wants to take Copper down, legend has it is the Zoom is next. I'm going to try to make dinner real quick between it, so I'm going to be a few minutes. So there you go. There you have it. Thank you, Michael.
All right.
Thank you for
Thanks,
having
everybody.
me. And I have to say, Copper Dan's the man.
That's
Watch out.
right. Copper Dan's the man. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back Thursday with another Forrest Fenn Treasure Found live show. Make sure you subscribe because you never know when we're going to go live.
Good night, all you crazy treasure searchers. Be safe.
See ya. Stay safe, everybody.
Be happy. Be good to each other.
Bye, guys.
Bye.